Welcome to I Am Geek, the show for the geek in all of us. I am Ryan Street, and I'm here with my brother Chris Street and our good friend Chris Catron, and we are so excited to be back for our third episode. You guys excited?
Well, of course.
Unbelievably excited. I can't believe it's 3 already. Jeez.
It's off the scale how excited I am right now.
It's like we're old pros. I've heard now that in the podcast community, if you get to 10 episodes, then you'll do it for the rest of your life. So that's what we're aiming for.
Oh, wow.
10, and then you can never stop.
Okay.
It's the magic number.
So there's still time to get out, but once you hit 10, you're locked in. Well, I'm excited. It's been a fun week. It's been a lot of the shows that we watch have been sort of on hiatus, I guess, and won't be back until later this month. But next week, Chris and I, Catron's not going to be there, sadly, but Chris and I are heading to Star Wars Celebration, and I'm so excited. I'm ready to get on that plane and be there now. I think it's going to be a fun time.
Getting elbow to elbow with a bunch of other sweaty people that like the same thing we like.
I know. It's fabulous. Also,
Who
this
wouldn't
week,
want to be there?
Yeah. Catron, just come on down and stand outside.
Yeah, maybe I will. Just wait for me at the entrance, and I'll be there. Eventually. Just wait. I'll be there.
We'll sneak you in. We'll get a Chewbacca costume, and we'll double up. Yeah. One of us will be on your shoulders.
Hey, there we go.
You could ride on my back or something. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We can do the Luke Skywalker Yoda, and I'll pretend to be Yoda on your back.
Or C-3PO on my back if I'm Chewbacca, right?
Chewbacca, yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah. And
it's not
like it'll be. Yeah, it's not like it won't be hot or anything. That'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. It's just Florida. Okay.
So speaking of C-3PO, the app came out for the event that lists everything on it this week, and I was looking at it, and they have an autograph section of who all is going to be there to get autographs, and basically everybody's going to be there. But I was looking at, and Anthony Daniels is going to be there, as well as Mark Hamill, and for some reason Freddie Prinze Jr. and his wife, and a lot of random people. But the autographs, I was looking at it, and I'm like, good gracious! I know how much tickets cost, and I know that most people have to fly there, and I know most people have to, get a hotel, and I'm like, how are people paying for these autographs? Because I got the app up, and just Anthony Daniels is the first one that pops up. If you want an autograph with Anthony Daniels and a photograph, it's $150.
Pocket change. Nothing. And then some people that I have no idea, and I love Star Wars. Some people that have no idea who they are. I think they had a 2-second cameo or something in the movie. In the background is $70. And I'm like, they got pictures of some of them of what they were, and I guess there was a guy who first played the Emperor in the first movie. When you see him, they had a pig face on him.
Yeah.
Or something, and he's there.
Yeah, he's $80. $80 for a picture and an autograph.
Even the extras got to eat. So I mean,
yes. But some people, you can't even tell how much they are because it's already sold out.
Yeah.
Felicity Jones is sold out. Mark Hamill's sold out. If you want a picture with Forrest Whitaker, it's $150. $150.
Well, hey, you can knock out Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. at the same time for just $300.
Oh well.
So there you go.
Is that it? Is that a deal?
That's a deal. That is a deal.
$150 a piece.
That's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I don't know what Freddie Prinze was in.
he was
Scooby-Doo, right?
Scooby-Doo. That's
Scooby-Doo.
That's the only
they're
thing.
both in Scooby-Doo. Fred and Daphne. The Scooby-Doo reunion every day for them.
Is that something people still collect? Is autographs? I mean, are they still worth something? Because
they're worth something. They could, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be
$150.
That.
Especially if the actor dies and then it shoots up in price.
So people are hoping for their deaths.
Yeah, people are waiting for these people to die so they can resell their autographs.
It's crazy.
It's lucrative.
Well, it's funny. The last Star Wars Celebration that was in Orlando, that's the only one I've been to. But I won free tickets, so I got to go to that one. And that was my first convention. I know, Chris, you've been to a bunch of them. That was my first convention experience, and I didn't know about this whole paying for autographs and paying for pictures and all this stuff. And there was these tables lined up, and Peter Mayhew, who plays Chewbacca, I saw him just sitting at a table, and I thought, oh wow, Chewbacca is sitting over there, and there's like no. I'm like, this is like once in a lifetime. I'm going to go over and say hi to him, and just see if he'll chat it up with me. So I walk over to him. I'm like, hey, it's so great to meet you. I loved you in Star Wars, and I just love Chewbacca. And he's like, oh, that's so great. Would you like an autograph? And I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. And he starts to sign something for me, and this security dude sweeps out of the back, and he's like, where's your ticket? I'm like, oh, my pass is right here. And he's like, no, where's your autograph ticket? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, you need to get away. You need to get away now. So they shooed me away, and I'm like, wow, well, they're with that. And Peter Mayhew was sort of looking at me like, sorry, man, But I had no experience of that, so that sort of that shook me a little bit. I was like, oh. And then I walked over and found the booth where they sold the tickets, and I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. Who would pay for this? And then,
actually, I would. I've paid for autographs before.
Of course, you have.
I've got a few. I've got Stephen Amell who plays Arrow, Green Arrow, on the show, and we've got there's a show called Warehouse 13. The main guy on that, I've got his autograph. I can't think of it. Eddie.
So you paid for his autograph, but you don't know his name?
And I can't think of his name. Eddie.
You can't read it probably either. So
yeah, I probably can't read it, so it doesn't matter. And we got a picture. It's an actual fun picture. This is a great picture. We went to Dallas Fan Days, and we got a picture with the three of the cast from Arrow. Stephen Amell, David Ramsey, and again, I can't think of another guy's name. He was in Torchwood. He was
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Doctor Who. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And it's going to come to me once I look it up, probably. But we went. It was on Valentine's Day, and me and my wife went, and she's a fan of the show too. And we came up with this plan because we didn't want a boring picture. And since it was Valentine's Day, we went out and got a box of chocolates, and we put like Happy Valentine's Day on it, like I was going to give it to Jenny, my wife, but she was surrounded by all the men. John Barrowman, that's the name. John Barrowman, Stephen Amell, and David Ramsey. And so all these big hunking guys who's like, David Ramsey's arm is as thick as my head. It's giant. It's huge. And so they're all surrounded by him, and she's like, Happy Valentine's Day to me, holding a sign, and I'm off in the corner by myself, standing away from them all sad, because she's got all the men. It's a fun picture. Maybe we'll throw it up on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, we put it on Twitter. I've seen it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good.
So you're the one that pays for them. So you'll pay for autographs for me, right? When we go to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, some of these guys, like, they enjoy doing it. It seems like, of course, they're getting a bunch of money, so they should. But I went to Comic-Con quite a few years in a row, and there was a table, and it had Spock and Data, the two actors, Leonard Nimoy and Brent Spiner. I remembered his name. They were sitting there at the table, and Leonard Nimoy was super happy, signing everything, loved it, and all the fans were great. But Brent Spiner, man, he was just sitting there like, he's like, what have I done with my career? He hated being there. He did not want to be there whatsoever. It was just sad. But yeah, I don't know.
You should get you like a booth at one of these things. Like, famous animator.
Yeah, you could. I'm a tiny little speck in X-Men First Class, walking in the Lincoln Memorial. So yeah, I can get a booth.
Yeah, see, I mean, you did the tiger from Life of Pi.
Yeah, the tiger from Life of Pi. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
You could like bring a tiger with you.
And charge like $500. Which little fun fact. So Walking Dead, the tiger on The Walking Dead,
Yeah,
was done by Rhythm and Hughes, the company I worked for that did Life of Pi, and that's the same exact tiger.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I just watched. I know you guys are behind, but the tiger scene in the season finale was amazing. Like it was so good that I was sitting reclined in my seat, and when the tiger came in, I won't spoil anything, but I jumped from my seat into a standing position and fist pumped my hands in the air and began to prance around the room about what was happening because it was just so like epic of a scene. So you guys got to catch up. But for most of the episode, I was sitting there like, okay, and then that happened, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And it was amazing.
See, that's why the rest of the season nothing happened. They're saving it and building it up, so that would seem even awesomer.
Yeah, well, it was pretty awesome.
They blew all their budget on that.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, and the look on Negan's face during that scene once you get there, it's priceless when a tiger jumps on the screen. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But I won't spoil any of that for you. I'll let you guys catch up with that. Aww. Speaking of wild animals, Chris, you went camping lately or recently, didn't you?
I did. I went camping this weekend, this last weekend, and we went to a place in Arkansas, and I took my son, who's 5, almost 6, and he was just really excited to go, and we had a great time, so we're glad we went. It was a little bit cooler than we expected, so we kind of froze a little bit at night, but we also had to battle with some rowdy campers. There were kids that were up till later than I expected them to be up, and there were other people that were older, folks that were loud as well, had rap music going on. All this stuff was going crazy. These kids riding around this circle. There's a loop at the campground where you're staying, and you could hear this kid on one of those Green Machine 3-wheel big wheel things. And you could hear him coming around the loop, and it's like, here he comes again. And it's got the plastic wheels, so it's coming around, and you're just like, oh my goodness, come on. So we finally got up and walked to the bathroom and stopped and saw him, and we're like, hey guys, can y'all just not do this and go to the other side of the campground or something? It's ridiculous. And so they did. They were very nice and said they're sorry, and we went back, and eventually we were able to go to sleep, but there was still just a lot of people just talking and all that. So anyways, we got past that night. Next day was fun. We met another family there, and they were really cool, and they had a kid with the same name as my son, so that was fun. And they ran around and had a blast, and the next night was uneventful. So we had a lot of fun, had a good time, and everybody stayed alive, so that was good. No creature attacks. Yeah, no creature attacks. We did a lot of hiking and had fires. No, we didn't burn the place down, so that was good.
I started to ask, did you mean to have the fire?
We did. We did intend to have the fire. Yes. Okay, we did forget some of our food. Our food, so we had to go into town, which was like 15 minutes away, and go to McDonald's, which he was thrilled about because he could go play and get a Happy Meal. And of course, my stomach paid for it later, but we had a good time and enjoyed it. And I hadn't been actually camping in a tent like that. Well, here's a funny story about the tent, I guess. I don't know.
Just a side note, Katrin is known for forgetting stuff. We'll just say that.
Oh, hey, that wasn't me that forgot that. Okay. But I did lose the instructions for our tent, and there were a few pieces I wasn't quite sure about, but we figured it out, got it up. No problems, but I hadn't been camping probably since you and I and some other folks went camping back in college. So it's been almost 20 years now, I guess, at least.
Old.
I don't know. So yeah, it was, but it all came back to me, and we had an awesome time. So I can't wait to go again. It's hard to go out here because here in kind of the what they call the Mid-South, because it gets hot and the snakes are out, so you can't go too often when it gets hot. But I don't know. We'll figure out some time to go.
So Katrin, we've been to Disney World. Our families have been together.
Yes.
So does your son, does he like camping or Disney World better?
That would probably be a tough one for him, but he would probably say Disney World. I'm pretty sure he would say Disney World. We often ask him that. It's like, do you like this better than Disney World? Because he'll say, this is the best day ever, And like, is it really?
Is it really? We're not at Disney World. Is it really?
Like, what about this? It's like, I like Disney World. That speaking of the best day ever, whatever, that night when we had the really bad night, again, he's 5, but he sits up and he's like, this is the worst night ever. You all need to be quiet. Showing up for tent, and I was like, just be quiet. It'll
like
be
a
fun.
little old man.
Yeah.
Walking out there, get off my lawn, you little kids.
Yeah.
Being too loud.
Yeah, he definitely would pick Disney World, and he's quick to say that his favorite ride is the Thunder Mountain Railroad. So.
Oh, that's my favorite ride too.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I like it as well.
So the first time that
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and tell the story real fast.
Yeah.
Was it the first time you came down there with me?
Yes, that was the first trip to Disney World. Yeah.
Yeah. So Katrin doesn't like roller coasters, or he didn't like roller coasters.
Yeah, I still don't care for him much, but.
So I take him to because I used to live in Florida. I take him to Disney World, and I said, "Hey, I got this ride that we're going to ride. It's called Big Thunder Mountain. It's the best." And he's like, "Oh, what is it? What is it?" I was like, "It's just a train ride. It's just a train ride through the Old West, and it's so amazing. You'll love it." He's like, "Oh, that's great." So we stand in line, and we get to the ride, and he's like, "Wait a second." But by that time, it's like we've waited in line, so you're going on the ride, and so we get on the ride, and I've never heard a grown man scream like a little girl.
Oh, come on! I like a little girl. I probably said some unnice words, but
it was.
Yeah.
But so that's fool me once, shame on you. But then I'm like, hey, I've got this other ride that we're going to go on called Space Mountain. He's like, what is this? And I'm like, don't worry, it's like an educational ride through space, and you'll love it.
Just some hills.
Yeah, so we wait in that line, and we get in there, and then he looks up and is like, what in the world? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a roller coaster. So we get on that, and he got
well, here's what you said. Yeah, here's what you said before we got on, though. You said, you might want to take your glasses off. And that's when I realized it wasn't just a little. Oh, come on.
Wow.
And now with YouTube, we can go and watch these rides before we ride them. It's like, I really want to ride this thing. Yeah, I don't know. But then, this was like 2002, somewhere around there. And it's like, you really didn't have all that as much. Now you can find anything on the internet, right? But
I just remember on Big Thunder Mountain when we were young, like super little, and I guess I was just tall enough to go on it. Our mom, me and Ryan's mom, took me on it, and I was a small child, very thin, stick-like even, and we got on there, and you pull the bar down over top of you, but of course, my mom being an adult, me being a tiny little child, the bar came to her and did not come to me.
No.
So all throughout that ride, my mom is holding me down so I wouldn't fly out. I'm literally lifting off the seat and like sliding up through the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like holding on for dear life. It was still fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The blast. My favorite ride.
Yeah, I finally rode it again. Well, I rode it again when we went on our honeymoon, my wife and I, and she wanted to ride it. She hadn't ridden it in a long time, so I was like, okay, whatever. And she then saw why we don't need to ride it, because I got off and I kind of stone faced and was ready to go. And yeah, it was bad. But one of the last times we went, not this last trip, but the trip before that, I rode it and I said, I'm just gonna have fun. Put my hands in the air, and said, rode down, and I've learned to enjoy it now. I still don't like Space Mountain, but
you would really hate Space Mountain if you rode it with the lights on. I did that once.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I've done that. Yeah.
And you think, okay, I'm going to be decapitated at any moment now, because it's just there's bars and stuff everywhere, but it's an experience.
Speaking of kind of space rides and rides at Disney World, have y'all seen that they're getting close to saying that they're going to add the Tron ride to Disney World and Disneyland? Have you seen it? The one that's in Shanghai?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
It's crazy. I don't know that I'll ride it and all, but it looks it's almost like a mixture between Test Track, which I like Test Track, and Space Mountain, kind of. I don't know. Looks neat.
Oh, if you're with me, you'll ride it. And it's like you're on a motorcycle, sort of, because you sort of like lean over. But it's rumored to be put in Disney World, in Tomorrowland, either where the racetrack is now, the Speedway. So they'd rip that out. Or an employee parking lot that's sort of behind Tomorrowland.
Yeah, employees don't need to park anywhere.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'd hate for them to lose the Speedway, because that's a fun little ride.
Yeah.
We took our 2-year-old on it the last time we were there, and he wanted to drive. We did not let him drive, but he had a blast. So I'd hate to lose that. In Disneyland, I think they're going to put it where they currently have the Star Wars area that you can go look at props for the movies and stuff. So that's the rumor for there. But yeah, the Tron cycle would be amazing to get. But it's not. It's a neat thing. It's not supposed to be to 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably gonna be 2021 or 22 before we see it, if Star Wars and Toy Story aren't here till 2019.
Yeah, the rumor is that they want to get all this stuff done in time for the 50th anniversary. Which would be then something like that.
We'll be too old to ride it then. Put our backs out.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Sir, I don't think you should ride this ride. I'll be fine. No, sir, you've
been waiting for.
Yeah.
You're clearly grasping your chest, and your left arm has gone limp. No, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't care how old I am when Star Wars Land happens. I will be there. They have to wheel me on. I'll be there for days. Speaking of new rides, Universal opened a new ride today, grand opening. The Jimmy Fallon ride, Tonight Show ride, which if you haven't seen videos of it, it's pretty cool because they have it looks like 30 Rock. It looks like the building where they film it. And it has a museum at the bottom that has all the hosts of the Tonight Show. And then they have Hashtag the Panda that dances around for you. And the Ragtime Gal barbershop quartet that sings songs while you wait. So there's not a line. You wait in different rooms and see these shows going on, and then you get on the ride. So it's sort of their answer to waiting in a long line. So there's no line really at all. They give you a card with a color, and you wait for the lights to change color to your color. And if your card's blue and it changes to blue, that means it's time for you to go to the next area. So there's no waiting in line, which is pretty cool.
What if you're colorblind?
That's been brought up, and they've said they're working on that. Right now, I think what they do is when the color comes up, somebody comes over and says blue or something like that. So yeah, that was one of the first questions somebody asked. Well, what if you can't tell what the color is? But I've heard I've seen videos, pretty cool. It is sort of like Star Tours at Disney World. That's sort of the closest thing to compare it to. I have not been on it yet, but I know people that have, and they say pretty much they compared it to Star Tours. You come into a seating area that looks like his studio, the stage and everything, and then the seats move up and down and all around and stuff with the video.
So at one point, are you in a glass sphere and attacked by a giant dinosaur?
No, but you are attacked by a giant panda, I believe. I think there's a giant hashtag panda that swoops down.
Clearly, they have not seen Jurassic World, and this is going to end in a horrible, horrible, just death for everyone involved.
I know.
They need to have Chris Pratt on hand to take care of any problems. That's all I'm saying.
I think they always have him on hand. He's always just around.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't do much.
Yeah.
Other news from Universal Studios this week that happened yesterday it's sad news. To me, it's sad.
Aww.
But yeah, so this is our somber moment. But I don't watch many people on YouTube. There's like a handful of people that I'll get on YouTube and watch their videos. One guy that I like to watch his videos, and my son and I, he's 2, but he likes to watch it with me, is a guy called Adam the Woo. If you're not familiar with Adam the Woo, he is a guy that basically travels around, films his life, films stuff that he does. Used to, he would film like abandoned locations, and he would go into these abandoned locations and film it. He got over that when Disney banned him a few years ago, but Disney unbanned him and invited him back. But he was at the park yesterday and was watching the Jimmy Fallon festivities that were happening, and security pulled him out and said you were banned from the park indefinitely for a video that he did 5 years ago. 2 videos that he did 5 years ago. And he's been a pass holder and been to the park many times. I went to the park. I got to go to the park with him for Halloween Horror Nights this last year. Me and one of my other friends, and he's a nice guy. I mean, I don't know him like best friends, but we've got to hang out a couple times.
Name dropping.
Well, no, he's just an acquaintance.
I know Adam the Woo.
Acquaintance that I've met like 2 times. He's not like somebody I hang out with. But I did. He was there with somebody else, and super nice guy. He's he doesn't do the trespassing abandoned videos anymore, but I mean he has 120,000 subscribers maybe.
So about what we have.
Yeah. But the thing is, he constantly gives basically free advertisement for Universal Studios and Disney, and for them to ban him from their parks for something that happened 5 years ago. I get it, he trespassed, but 5 years ago, he's been back many times. I don't know what sparked them to decide, hey, now's the time, but I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? What do you think about banning somebody from your park after something they did 5 years ago?
Well, I don't know. There's so much on the internet that, I mean, I know like these big companies have these people that basically all they do is just look at stuff constantly, find stuff to basically sue people and do stuff like that. So, I mean, they could have just found that. I could see that.
Yeah, maybe.
But,
I mean, it has over 1 million views, so...
I don't know, but yeah, still like 5 years to ban them. Like I mean, just tell them to take it down if you're so offended by it.
Yeah. I mean, the video was in question. One of them, there's 2, is the old Nickelodeon Studios that was there many years ago. Supposedly, somebody from Universal that worked there let him in, and he did a tour of the building by himself and filmed the whole thing. I guess they weren't supposed to let him in, but they let him in, and he didn't disturb anything. He just walked the hallways, taking video of it, and then said this is amazing, and then left. So I don't know.
Do you think maybe they've had some cases where people are doing this and or trying the same thing, trying to get in? They're worried that that's maybe influencing people to do. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there's other people. I mean, if you Google it or YouTube just type in search. I'm sure there's other people that have done the same thing.
Try to make an example of him, maybe.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, though, and he, a lot of kids like to watch him, and so I don't know. I think it's a little much. I think they could have gave him a slap on the wrist instead of just saying, we know you have annual pass, but who cares? You're banned. And this is what he does for a living, so he doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't know. But
it's crazy.
So that's Universal. There's, I think, petitions going around to try to get him unbanned. I don't know if it'll work or not, but Disney, they unbanned him. At Disney World, he went to the old river country. It's still sitting there, long, long time ago. But he's since changed his ways. But I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to more happier thoughts. So the Defenders teaser trailer.
Yes, a little teaser, little clip.
I thought it was pretty amazing. Just that little teaser.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, for something short, little clip, little snippet, I liked it.
Yeah, so they're like all in the elevator. So it's got Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage in an elevator together. Daredevil sort of has his quick costume on, I guess.
Yeah, he's got just like he's in a suit and he's got a bandana around his head. So it's like hearkening, I guess, back to like the first season where he's just all in black and you just have the thing around his head.
I wonder if Iron Fist will be like, "Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll get me one of those."
maybe a couple eye holes would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a friend of mine was saying. He said, "I bet you he ends up giving it to him or something because it's like he doesn't need that. He has his own costume. Why does he have that?" And Iron Fist that we know from comic books or whatever, he had something like that with eye holes and and it kind of like a bandana on. So, but I don't know. It almost looked like he was wearing a Halloween costume or something. It was really weird looking. But
I saw that basically they all come to this building for a certain reason and they all happen to come at the same time. It's like pure accident. So I think Daredevil's thing is kind of an improvised thing to disguise himself. And it looks like they may have like fought a bunch of people. Like there may have been a couple bullet holes in Luke Cage's shirt, and they come in the elevator. Yeah. And they're relaxing before they get into another fight. So another big epic like hallway fight that they keep doing.
Yes, I love their hallway fights. But then the teaser ends with Jessica Jones punching out the camera with the timestamp 8. Oh, I forget the number. But it's
the date of the release.
Yeah, so it's going to be in August
12th.
Yeah, which is going to be cool.
And it's a set of it's a mini series, so there's 8 episodes I think is all they're going to have, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And so Sigourney Weaver.
She's the
bad guy.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But she plays a good bad guy. We watched Working Girl this past weekend. She did a really good job in that. So it'll be good. It'll be good. She did a good villain. Good corporate villain. So yeah.
Well, there you go. Heard it here first.
Yep. Just go watch Working Girl, and you'll know how the Defenders is going to be. It's perfect.
And they're also, as part of this, releasing a new comic book series as well with this, because of course the Defenders were some different characters long ago, but I've been studying this stuff, right? But it's
there you go.
Yeah, apparently it was like Incredible Hulk. I said Hulk Hogan, Incredible Hulk, and some other guys I don't remember.
Like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, but they're in that article. I think I tweeted out it. It was talking about, they've got a new series they're going to put out with these Defenders when the show comes out. So that'd be cool.
They've even designed them a little bit more like the people in the show. The Jessica Jones character looks a lot more like the actress from the show.
Yeah. So you mentioned Hulk Hogan there. I watched WrestleMania.
Oh no.
Just briefly. Part of my childhood was ruined. Was taken out back, told to look at the flowers, and shot in the back of the head.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Jeez.
That was a Walking Dead reference there.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know.
You know that part. Yeah, but
I was like, man.
yeah. So they had Goldberg. They brought Goldberg back, and they brought the Undertaker back for a match. Goldberg faced Brock Lesnar, which I don't care for. That's just me. And Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, and they both lost. And I was just like, you bring these guys back.
But didn't Undertaker retire
At that match?
And it was sad to watch. Let me tell you.
So he lost his last match?
Yeah, they do that a lot. So it's sort of like they're passing the torch on to the next guy. But Brock Lesnar's been around for a long time, so I don't know. That wasn't a passing the torch. That was just, we want him to look big and bad, so we're going to make Goldberg lose to him, which I thought was ridiculous. He's a part-timer anyways, and I'm tired of seeing him. That's just me. But the Undertaker match, it was so sad because he was showing his age. And there was one point when I don't think the camera was supposed to be focused on the Undertaker's face, and he looks at Roman Reigns, and you could see that he mouths, "Just finish it." And so Roman Reigns is like, does this weird move that it didn't even look right, and then pinned him, and you could just tell it was like, I can't do this. Just finish the match, and it was sad to watch.
Wow. Well, he's like in his 60s or something, isn't he?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
he might be in his 50s.
I thought he was a lot younger than that. When you said he's old,
Really?
I thought I read that he's not really that old. Let me look real quick.
Well, it just announced today that I think he's going in for like hip surgery and a bunch of other.
I mean, you get thrown around like that. Okay, he's 52.
52.
Okay, he's older.
52, okay.
I was thinking I must have been reading about somebody else, but I mean, younger than our parents, right? But that's still old when you talk about sports and being thrown around like a rag doll. So.
Yeah, people are questioning why they put him in a match with Roman Reigns. He's another big guy, but can't, he has his limited moveset, so there wasn't somebody to really carry the match. But this is all wrestling. Oh, look, there's a picture of him right there.
Mm-hmm. That everyone can see.
That everyone can see.
Did you all see that?
Yeah. But it was sad. It was sort of sad to watch. The rest of the WrestleMania was great, but the last half was just like.
This is.
Goldberg is 50.
Goldberg's 50.
It's just his legs. It's just his legs. Okay.
Goldberg is still a beast though, and he tore it up, but they made him lose. He beat Brock Lesnar in another match. I know it's all fake, but he beat him in a match a few months ago in 1 minute 28 seconds, which was pretty cool.
That's crazy.
Wrestling's fake? What?
Yeah.
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
They really do get hurt though.
One more piece of wrestling news and back to our tie to Tennessee, right? Kane is running for an office. Mayor? No,
yeah, I think it's mayor.
In Knox County and back in East Tennessee. So
wow,
that's I don't know. I don't know anything much about him except that he can beat up on some people. He's 49, by the way.
Does he actually talk?
Right.
No, he's actually a smart guy, and he's been wanting to run for political office for a while now.
So, Roman Reigns is 31, by the way. In case you're wondering.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's young.
True story.
They're sort of creating Roman Reigns to be the next Hulk Hogan or the next John Cena, the next guy to be the face of the company, which people don't really like. But
I was gonna say people hate him, don't they?
Yeah, because they keep pushing him on everybody. I mean, he's not bad. He's good in the ring and stuff. But.
Oh yeah.
So also the Hardy Boys came back to WrestleMania.
Oh wow!
And they won the
book series, guys?
Yeah, the book series. And they
no, they did wrestling.
they were solving a mystery.
That's interesting. They're like in their little corduroy little jacket things and
and they came in and they won the tag team championships.
Okay. Well, gosh, golly gee.
Oh, but enough about wrestling, I guess. Even though I could probably talk about it
That's for your other podcast. That's
Yeah,
your
this is
whole
a wrestling podcast.
Just wrestling podcast.
Because like so many people debuted on Monday Night Raw the next night afterwards, but we won't get into that. Speaking of weird things, so Matt Damon was supposedly announced to probably be Darkseid.
Yes. He's too big to fit in the Robin suit now.
Speaking of buddy comedies.
So yeah. I mean, I could see it. I guess he could be good in it. I mean, they got Josh Brolin as Thanos, which is Marvel's.
He's good though.
Version. He's good. I mean, Matt Damon's good. Has he ever played a villain? I don't know if he's ever played a villain before.
Not that
nothing I can think of. I mean, I'm sure it'll be all CG. Like he'll be in a motion capture suit and everything, and then they'll completely redo the animation because the motion capture won't do anything. I didn't.
Wow.
I mean, anyway.
So here's my question: if Ben Affleck was not Batman, would Matt Damon be Darkseid?
I don't know. Like it could have sprung from that because a lot of people was like Ben Affleck said, well, Matt Damon has to do something then.
it's in their contracts. If one is in there, the other has to show up at some point.
Yeah.
They've got those legal things where you can't get within 50 feet of someone. Well, they have the opposite. They have to be within 50 feet of each other.
Did they announce when Darkseid is supposed to make his appearance?
Supposedly he's not really supposed to be in the first Justice League movie, but I'm guessing from what I read in the article, it may be just like a small cameo type thing where he shows up, just like little bits here and there. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And then along with that news, they said the next Batman movie may be a reboot again.
Yeah, I saw an article on that from the director Matt Reeves, who's going to be directing the Batman movie. He said that the Batman movie is kind of almost going to reboot the DC universe, like a crisis. So in the comics, little geeky thing, in the comics they have these crisis events that basically happen every few years or whatever. That kind of reboots the whole comics. There's like Crisis on Infinite Earths. They have to do a lot with like the Infinite Earths and everything, and they basically use those events to kind of pare down the stories a little bit. Like Hawkman had his whole history is just so convoluted that they would use that to pare down his origin story to make it a little bit more sense. It's never worked so far, but they keep trying. And Flashpoint that they did on the Flash was like a crisis event where the Flash went back, saved his mom, and it ended up rebooting the whole universe into the New 52 and started everything over. So you can make the characters younger again, and put everything more up to date type thing. So since fans are a little bit back and forth on the whole DC universe right now, I can see them maybe doing a crisis event to kind of get rid of stuff that didn't work and kind of emphasize the stuff that did work and kind of rebooting it that way.
And the stuff that did work would be
the actors.
So the stuff that did work would be
would be Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Sorry, not to be mean, but
I know. I can see. There's. I think basically reboot all the producers and executives who kept changing their minds and trying to do different things.
Yeah, it was. So Suicide Squad, I enjoyed. Batman versus Superman, I did not, but that's just me. Everybody has their opinion. That's just me. So we'll see what happens. We'll just have our counterpoint one day about this. But And then Stan Lee was in your neck of the woods here recently too, right?
Yes, there was a Dallas Comic Con thing that went on down in Dallas, of course. Um, and a whole bunch of people were down there. And Stan Lee, it was supposedly his last time coming into Dallas for like an event. And Karen Gillan, who is in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, she was on Doctor Who. She was supposed to be in town, and then she like wrote in saying to the fans, like, I'm sorry I can't make it, work obligations, hope to see you guys next time. But then on her Instagram page and Twitter, she posted a picture of her in makeup for Guardians of the Galaxy standing next to Stan Lee, who shot the cameo. So I don't know if they actually shot the cameo in Dallas, which would be really cool, or maybe they just, that's like a past picture that she's just now allowed to put in. But it's just, to me, it's a very coincidental that they're supposed to both be in Dallas at the same time, and then she couldn't do any of her things because of work. And he shot in, and he has a cameo in it.
Well, was anybody in the picture wearing a cowboy hat? Because that would just give it away.
That would have given it away. So they were a little sneaky on that. They did. They made sure that no one was wearing a cowboy hat, and no one was firing guns up in the air.
That's what happens in Dallas.
That is. The stars at night.
I think that's pretty much all the news, I think, for this week.
Oh, they did one thing. They did film in Dallas last night. I've almost forgot about in Deep Ellum. It's a section of Dallas. You would know. It's kind of like a artsy kind of area, or whatever. They were filming scenes for the new XMan TV show that's going to be on Fox.
Oh.
Some friends of mine were down there, and they were watching it and saying like it was like a standoff between like police officers and mutants, and one officer was getting like pushed back like by a force. They had them like on a string or something pulling them, but.
Oh, don't ruin it, Chris.
Oh, sorry. I mean, it was real.
I don't know how it happened.
They brought out a real mutant.
Do you know what show that is?
It's I can't think of the name of it, but it's like basically like an underground mutants. It's almost like the Morlocks from the comics, to where they're like it's like almost like a mutant resistance. It's like underground and they're being hunted, and it's based around this one family who their kids have like become mutants and they go into hiding basically. It's got like Stephen Moyer from True Blood and the main guy from the originals who was on Vampire Diaries, which I know you guys love that show.
I've never seen it. Sorry.
I'm a big CW fan, so I probably get made fun of, I'm sure, behind my back at work, but because of all the drama, love stories of CW, but we enjoy the vampire shows.
Yeah, we've watched them.
Now I'm a big Supernatural fan. That's my show my top show
That
on
is
CW.
a good show. I'm behind on that show.
Oh, you got to catch up. It's gotten better.
I know.
It's gotten better.
I know. I love that show.
They announced there's going to be a new season next year, so they keep going.
There's going to be a season every year. They're going to be in wheelchairs, like chasing down like vampires and stuff.
I would watch it.
And they'll have died like 15 more times by then.
That's fine.
And back to life.
Once you get caught up, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, I promised last week that I would tell a story that involves dynamite and a septic tank, and I think we've come to that time.
Mm-hmm.
I should have warned people at the beginning of the episode to make sure they stayed around, but. So here at I Am Geek, I want you guys, the listeners, all of you, to get to know us a little bit and where we came from and why we are the way we are. And so
wow, I'm not sure how to take that.
We'll be telling funny stories every now and then about stuff that's either happened to us or our families or people around us. And our father, Chris and I, not Katrin, but Chris Street,
that we know of.
yeah, that we know of, has had more things happen to him that he should be dead by now. We probably shouldn't be alive because he should have been dead long before we even came around.
That is true.
But he's had all kinds of stuff, so we'll bring in some of those stories every now and then, and some stories of stuff that happened to us. But one of my favorite stories that happened to him, we grew up in Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee. Shout out. I don't know if anybody knows where that is. It's Upper East Tennessee in the mountains, and where our dad grew up was sort of in the country. Didn't have a sewer system or anything like that. Used to use an outhouse, that type of thing, but then they got indoor plumbing, if you want to call it that. And our grandfather was cheap, so instead of putting in a real septic tank, they found an old tank somewhere, and they buried it in the yard and hooked it up and used that.
As you do.
As one does. And that was their septic tank. But the problem is, because it wasn't really made for that, it would get clogged up and stopped up a lot. If you don't like stories like this, you could turn it off.
There's a lot of good country eating in Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
good heavy country eating. So yeah.
So not only do you get backed up, but the system does. And so it was my dad's. He was turning 13 years old. So a big birthday, and they didn't do much. Like party-wise, but they decided to have him a 13-year-old birthday party. And so he was going to invite his friends from school, and the day of the party, they were getting everything ready, and they realized that the tank was stopped up, and they knew that they had all these, young kids, teenagers coming over to the house that would further stop it up. So they knew that before cake was served and everything, they had to unclog this thing. Well, my dad's uncle was there, and he said, I think I can fix your problem. And the thing you have to know about Tennessee back then, everybody had a pickup truck. And if you had a pickup truck, for some odd reason, you had dynamite in the back of your pickup truck. I don't know why.
It's a thing.
Yeah, maybe that's how they went fishing. They just, lit some dynamite and fish came to them. I don't know. But he had dynamite in the back of the truck, and he said, I bet, we could take a half a stick of dynamite, light it, and stick it down in the tank, and it will be just enough to loosen everything up.
This is
no!
This is very MythBuster.
Yeah, very MythBuster
stuff.
This is a true story. It actually happened. So they take the half a stick of dynamite, they light it, and they drop it down, and nothing happens.
Wah, wah.
So they're like, okay, obviously, that didn't go off. Let's take a whole stick, light it, drop it down this hole that leads to, everything. And surely that will loosen up. About that time was the time when the party goers started to arrive to the party. And the thing about dynamite, I'm not a scientist, but nor do I play one on TV. But dynamite explodes all around. Dynamite doesn't explode in one direction.
No.
You don't aim it like a Roman candle and it comes out one end. It explodes, and when it explodes, it goes up, down, left, right, every which way. So this time, there's already half a stick down in there that has not exploded, and now there's a whole stick, and this time it works. But it doesn't explode down like they were hoping. It explodes all around. and that means up in the air into the front yard where all these
Uh-oh.
party goers were standing, and it begins to rain the chocolate rain. And I can just imagine, I wasn't there, but I can imagine these party goers looking up in the air and go, this party's awesome. They have like chocolate rain. And then just screaming,
chocolate mountain.
Wait, this isn't chocolate rain. Long before the song was made popular. But, covered, I'm sure, when they went back to school, our dad was not the most popular kid in school because he's the guy that made it rain feces
poop.
Poop on them. But that's, growing up in Tennessee, I guess. Now, we didn't have that. I mean, we didn't have dynamite. I did, have Roman candle wars with people, and we'd shoot each other with Roman candles.
I was younger than you, and even I knew that was stupid. I would be inside just looking out the window. You guys running around throwing explosives at each other.
We would shoot bottle rockets at each other. It wasn't dynamite. It was fine.
I do remember our dad putting the bottle rockets on our mailbox and shooting them down the road, basically into traffic.
Yeah, they'd hit cars.
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
Disclaimer: do not try any of this at home.
Yes.
We were not trained professionals, but we acted like it. Don't try this at home, and don't stick dynamite down in a septic tank because it's not going to end well.
It will take the path of least resistance.
Yes, it will. And that usually will be back to you. Mm-hmm. So it's been great. I think it's been a great episode. We've talked about Star Wars. We've talked about Universal Studios. We've talked about poor Adam the Woo. And we've talked about exploding poop. You can't get better than that.
From Star Wars to poop.
Yeah, from Star Wars to poop. So until next time, we are I Am Geek. And this is the show for the geek in all of us. And we hope to see you and talk to you real soon. Check us out on Twitter at I Am Geek Show. See you next week. Bye.